Before moving to Chicago in 1963, he traveled across the Deep South, playing a pivotal role in the civil rights movement of the early 1960s. Miller Green was a freedom rider, a group that challenged segregation on interstate transit in the face of violence and arrest. Today in Markham, Green shared his story as a freedom rider in a Black History celebration.
I would say it was the greatest moment of my life because I saw changes.
Miller Green proudly recounts the time he spent as a young man boldly protesting Jim Crow travel laws enforced in the South despite a Supreme Court ruling in 1960 that said segregated public buses were unconstitutional. The Freedom Riders consisted of groups of mostly young Black and white students who rode buses through southern states challenging segregation in public spaces.
It's not Black history, it's American history. You want to know where you came from in order to know where you're going.
Green came from Jackson, Mississippi, joining the Freedom Riders in an attempt to buy bus tickets in his hometown. He was arrested July 7, 1961, just a senior in high school at the time.
It's an honor. If I had to do it again, I would do it. You know, someone has to do it.
Just 2 years later, he moved to Chicago, where he remained active in his advocacy for civil rights and continues to share his story on this day to a group in Markham, joined together in celebration of Black history.
He talked about being in a cold, dark jail cell and being beaten and being in a bus full of smoke that he could not get out of, that was set on fire by a Molotov cocktail, and a lot of people that were coming at you to try to kill you.
Markham Mayor Roderick Pawa says as Green spoke, he envisioned himself experiencing the same circumstances, wondering how he would have responded to the violence.
I think by him coming here to speak, what it's really done for me as a leader of a city is that, we have a certain amount of stewardship about what he did, and that we should share that with people in general.
The Freedom Riders changed the way people traveled and helped set the stage for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Most famous among the Freedom Riders, Georgia Congressman John Lewis, who served in the House of Representatives from 1987 until his death in 2020.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC 7 Chicago Eyewitness News.